Here we go. Who the hell are you, man? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
We are the Knights
of Nerdatude. Hold on to your butt.
And now for something completely different.
Hello out there, and welcome to the Knights of Nerdatude podcast for all things nerd. I am your host tonight, Sean, and I'm here on the Skype hotline with...
Getting sick of all this sand. It's Sam.
The lizard just came out of my nose. It's John.
I just want to stay home, get drunk, and talk trash about people. It's Chris.
Here. It's been a long week for us. COVID has hit us, so we're going to be remote for the next probably few weeks, but it's okay. We're not going to name names on who came down with COVID.
It was me. It was I did.
I
tested positive the day after our last podcast, but thankfully it looks like no one else has gotten it. So
yeah, we've all tested negative, which is nice. Even though we were locked, that's odd. We were locked in a room for like hours with you, and none of us.
But Sean, your basement has such good ventilation,
right? We had
it's probably
going.
Yes. The fan I bought at Ocean State Job Lot has saved us all.
The fan was blowing the disease to my direction.
Yeah, no, I was fine. It was all Chris getting all of it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, fake disease.
John's just faking it.
Fake disease. Get the vaccine either way, but it's a fake disease.
It's a free vaccine, still, you know.
Sam, you got to follow the money for all the free stuff. You got to follow that money.
Yeah. I get anything if it's free.
Anyways, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got some news. We've got a couple movies on Encanto and Don't Look Up. Netflix's Don't Look Up.
Coda.
But Coda, Boba Fett, but we got some news. Chris, you want to start us off with some news?
Yes. Most importantly and biggest news of the year so far, Morbius gets pushed back to April.
Yes.
So
oh my God, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah. So this is it's okay. Pushback because a couple things that kind of lined up perfectly that gave him an excuse.
Right.
It's Spider-Man's doing great, and Omicron is kind of sweeping the nation.
Yeah.
The world probably, but you know,
who cares about the world? Care about U.S.
It kind of hit like this perfect excuse to move this movie.
Yeah.
And Sony took it. Sony did it. And
I as somebody who likes and has read Morbius comics, I don't have high hopes for this movie. It's just because based on the trailers, I don't understand what they're going for a tone, and I mean who knows, but I don't know what. Obviously, the reason why they're pushing back isn't because they need to do reshoots or re-edits or anything like that. Like, it's kind of like how was it Dark Phoenix was when they kept pushing that back. Where there's it's done. Just
funny
like
story. Actually, I was looking this up too, because I was genuinely curious. Which movie do you think was pushed back more times, date wise? Do you think it was The New Mutants or Morbius?
Are we talking?
I know the answer.
Are we talking?
You know the answer. Then don't.
I
say
do
anything.
know the answer, so I'm not saying.
Then
anything.
don't say anything.
Are we
I'm
talking
the
total
times?
time?
No. The
From the
times
first
it was pushed
date?
back.
Yeah, from the first release date to when it actually is supposed to come out or did come out.
Okay,
No. I'm talking the number of times Sony came out and said this movie has changed time.
So
compared to Fox doing the same thing.
To Fox doing the same thing. Which one do you think was more?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the amount of time pushback was New Mutants, but I'll say Morbius in terms of just the amount of times they pushed it back.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Because I was looking at it, I'm like, this is a lot. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, Morbius was pushed back 5 times. But New Mutants was pushed back 4. It's just it was pushed back like 2 years.
Yeah.
Whereas Morbius is, I think the Morbius was only like 8 months where they changed the date so many times.
Yeah. But yeah, it set the record for movie pushed back the most because of COVID.
Well, I
So
mean,
congratulations, they did something.
Time dates wise, yes, but I think like Top Gun is gonna take that.
Yeah, I think Top Gun was pushed way out, right?
They haven't even set a date yet. So
no, they did. I thought they did.
Well,
I think it's the summer.
It was supposed to be May
last summer, and then
isn't it like? Is it still May of this year or like late May? But I don't know. I'm not going to see that movie.
Just wait until the Gamma variant comes out.
Yeah, right.
I know we're already past that, aren't we?
Yeah, we
Whatever.
are. Alpha, beta, delta,
You
gamma, delta,
know what the
epsilon,
joke
zeta,
was.
theta, iota, kappa, lambda.
Yeah, the joke. We understand, John.
Pi is
Good
next.
joke.
Pi is next. Pyro sigma
I would
tau.
love a pie virus.
In
Oh
time
no,
for Pi Day.
cherry and chocolate cream. Oh
Yeah, it
no,
might be in time for
no.
Pi Day. It might be in time for Pi Day.
Oh, I would love pie. Oh, I can't. I do. Anybody else here celebrate Pi Day?
My old office used to buy to a T.
Oh, like so you don't personally celebrate it?
Like go.
Because honestly, I love it. I get chicken pot pie for dinner. I get a pie for dessert.
Are you talking
Usually it's
the 99-cent frozen chicken pot pie with 10,000
I
milligrams
get
of sodium?
No, I usually get Wright's Farm or something like that.
Ooh, the good stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it's Pie Day. Why would I not celebrate it with the good stuff?
Can we just okay, so for those of you who don't live in the New England area, if you ever go to New England area, particularly Rhode Island, northern Rhode Island, it's this place called Wright's Dairy Farm. And it has the best.
They sell chickens there.
They
No. Those are two different farms.
That's a different
that's a
Sam. You're
different
going to confuse them.
So it's the farm where it sells all the baked goods and everything. It has the best cake and pastries and coffee milk around.
They have really good anything dairy. No, honestly, if you're not from around here and you do visit, go to both Wright's farms. They are far apart from each other. One's in Burrillville, the other one's in
Burrillville.
Smithfield.
No, it's like Woonsocket, Burrillville, Smithfield border.
No, it's
Smithfield.
It's Smithfield. It's not Burrillville, Chris.
Oh,
Burrillville
really?
is further
Okay.
west. But yeah, one is amazing dairy. The other one is hey, do
Fantastic
you like
all you can
chicken? Here, eat chicken.
Chicken.
It's weird.
What's the menu there? It's chicken, salad, pasta.
Yeah, but not just any pasta. It's
Potatoes.
the mini shells in pasta sauce.
Yeah.
And then potatoes.
All you can
And
eat.
that's all. They just give it to you. It's in a trough, and you just eat it like a pig.
Family style. Yeah.
I only take mine in
This
vitros.
is the one person who clicked on this episode because we were talking Coda. I hope you found that very interesting.
Anyway, shall I move on with the news?
Yeah, moving on
Absolutely.
with news.
Yeah.
Okay, so this only kind of appeals to one person, but I saw it and I had to mention it.
Okay.
On Godzilla's Twitter page.
Ooh. I mean, hey, Sam's in on that.
You're in on it? Okay. Godzilla's Twitter page has a clock that's set to 0900, but everybody seems to think it's September 24th, it's a countdown to something. They're going to announce something or whatever it is. But I mean, it looks like there's going to be another Godzilla coming.
I hope so.
And
Are we are we talking Toho or are we talking?
This is Toho Godzilla. This is Toho.
Okay, all right. So last we saw Toho Godzilla was it Godzilla Shin Godzilla, which came out right after the what is the Legendary's Godzilla came out, and it was highly praised. It was the first Godzilla movie that didn't reference the original Godzilla because it was a reimagining of what happens if Godzilla comes out now.
And listen, if you like arguments about bureaucracy,
oh my God,
this
it's
is
such a
movie
political
for
it's such a political drama set with a background of a googly-eyed giant monster.
It's one of the weirder Godzilla movies you will ever see,
yeah.
and that's saying something with Godzilla movies.
Oh, 100%. But like, it was well done to the point where it made a ton of money. It was highly praised, made a lot of money. One of the highest grossing Godzilla movies in years. That Toho wise.
Toho, yeah, because I was gonna say,
yeah. It had a limited release in the U.S., unfortunately, because I really wanted to see it in the theaters. And they shelved a sequel to that because of the success of Legendary's series. And then King of the Monsters came out that kind of flopped. And it was like, all right, well, I guess Godzilla versus Kong is going to be the last one. And then Toho will go right back. And then turns out that was actually kind of a success. Like, it actually did well enough where it might actually get a sequel. So, but I would love to see another Toho Godzilla.
It's a questionable whether or not Toho and Legendary are going to team up again. That could be it.
It's because of King of the Monsters doing so poorly. The only reason why we got Kong versus Godzilla is because it was already like mostly through production when King of the Monsters came out. That's the only reason why we got that movie. If that movie wasn't even greenlit yet, there was no chance it was getting a sequel.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, it's one of the highest grossing movies of the pandemic. I think it's number 2 or 3 for highest grossing movie during the pandemic. And that's with the release on HBO Plus.
Yeah.
Or Max.
Well,
or
anyway,
it's called.
in interesting news. So maybe in September, or maybe even sooner, we'll get an announcement that something.
Yeah. I would be for
something's coming our way.
Yeah.
Oh no, there goes Tokyo.
Oh no, Godzilla.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of all I got for news. That's what's going on this week.
All right. Yeah, the Morbius was the only news that I remember. All right, let's just hop right into television because we got a few like TV like movies that we have to talk about. So jump right into television. So if you've been living under a rock, the TV show, the Star Wars spin-off, I guess you would say TV show, the Book of Boba Fett has been going on. We're at 2 episodes right now. John, Chris, and myself gave our initial thoughts on the first episode and how we felt about the show and where we thought it was going to go and whatnot. So Sam was actually absent. So Sam gets to finally give his
COVID-free life.
Yeah, so Sam finally gets to give his 2 cents on this show. And now that episode 2 has come out, we can kind of give a better understanding of where we think the show is going and how we feel about the show and whatnot. So, Sam, why don't you take over? Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll give my thoughts on the first episode, just real quick.
All right, that's fine.
It was a bunch of determined face people giving each other serious looks, and a bunch of serious face people giving each other determined looks. Or no, I think I screwed that up. Anyways, my point is, it was just a bunch of people trying to act badass and stuff, all like squinting at each other, going, eh. Was not terribly interesting. Kind of boring. Kind of just a solid kind of.
Okay.
And that was my thought on the first episode.
All right. So we have the second one come out, and it focuses. I would say, at least for the first half, it focuses more on quote unquote present day, and then the second half focuses more on where he was before Mando. And so present day, you find out, hey, 2 of the Hutts are like maybe planning on taking over Jabba's territory. Maybe like for anybody who doesn't pay attention to Expanded Universe or the Clone Wars, yeah, there's more than one Hutt. Like Jabba's not the only one. Or was it Gardola from episode 1? Like, there's more than that. There's actually, like, Pizza the Hutt from Spaceballs, played by Dom DeLuise. Anyways, No, like there's a lot of Hutt, so like they brought that in, kind of like showing. The mayor is, oh god, I always forget what the species is called. If it's
Twi'lek?
No, the mayor, the hammerhead. It starts with an I. It's like an if. Oh god, I should know this. Well, it's a hammerhead.
Two mouths. They got two mouths.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, absolutely loved seeing that, like him talking and whatnot, and like them actually being like, hey, there's an iconic species that we've never like actually used. Let's actually use it. And I was okay with it. Like I really like universe building wise, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I have to give the newer Star Wars stuff credit is they've been using the aliens more readily than the other stuff.
Than the movies? Yeah. Especially the last three?
Well, you got some of that in like Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I have to say, guys, and it kills me to say this, as a Boba Fett fan, and as a Boba Fett fan since God knows
way back,
when, obviously I'm heavily invested in this show, so I'm enjoying it. But I can see why someone who's not a Boba Fett fan is getting tired of this show.
By the second episode.
By the second episode, no. I 100% understand. I don't know how Sam feels or John feels about the second episode. I have no idea. We haven't talked about it yet. But I fully understand if either of you guys are like, I'm almost checked out of this show. I understand because as a fan, as a Boba Fett fan, I'm like, oh, I love this. It's giving my character, the character that I love, somewhat of a backstory. And I love that. But it doesn't really matter. In the grand scheme of things, like, they could do a Chewbacca movie or TV show where fans of Chewbacca just don't care. Like, who cares that he has a family in the Kazook system? Which is a callback to the Star Wars Holiday Special, by the way. Because they call it the Kazook system in that. Because I've seen that way too many times. Anyways, no, like, it's taking a fan-specific character and expanding on their history and who they are, and it's not for everyone. And I understand that. So based on that, I'm handing it off to you two, John and Sam, because you guys have actually seen the second episode. I want to know, like, are you guys checked out? Are you willing to keep going on this? Or do you actually... I doubt it, but are you guys actually enjoying yourselves?
Well, I'll say this. I'll keep watching it because it's Star Wars, and I like Star Wars. But the second episode, I thought, picked up a little bit more, and mostly around the Sand People stuff. And what the TV shows seem to be a long-running rehabilitation of the Sand People.
I agree with that. It's like they're trying to show that like they have a culture. Like they're not people of the sand. Like they're not desert people. They have a culture. There's stuff going on here. Like so.
But
yeah.
But like I liked that stuff, but I'm still not buying in on this whole like so all of a sudden he's just a kingpin on Tatooine, like just because he shot a guy. I don't know. It's like, is this the Highlander sort of situation?
There can only be one.
It's like if you kill the Highlander, you become the Highlander. Or...
Yeah, it's weird how like a Hutt dies and then Bib Fortuna takes over, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, Bib's in charge." It's like the guy's like such a kiss-ass Twi'lek, like or Twi'lek, like. You're really going to, like, admit, oh, yeah, no, this guy's in charge now. The guy who was in cahoots with Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, like, that's the guy that we're going to, like, be like, oh, yeah, no, he's in charge of this, you know, underground empire.
And I'm sure John felt the same way as me is during the train scene where they're attacking the train. And you're just sitting there going, oh, so we're just going to do this. All right. I just saw this movie in theaters. And then they literally have those like concept pictures. And it's literally just that shot from Lawrence of Arabia.
And then, like, you know, he's dressed at like a sand person after they're in.
Yeah.
And like, Sam, they even have, I mean, you know, okay, so I really enjoyed that part of it. I actually kind of liked this episode after the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I'll be honest with you, 12 minutes into this episode, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't, like, there's nothing here. Mm-hmm. And then everything after that was fine. The flashback I thought was really good. I thought it was, I don't know why Jon Favreau has just decided to, in all these, like, Star Wars live action shows, just decided to, like, make, like, every other one, like, a tribute to, like, all-time great movies. Like, you know, they've done that a lot with Mando, where, like, some of these Kurosawa, like, samurai films or some of them, and, like, Western and stuff like that. And this one just happens to be Lawrence of Arabia, with a little bit of Dune thrown in there, too, which is also sort of a Lawrence of Arabia knockoff. Oh, no, it's not actually Lawrence of Arabia. We talked about this the other day. I mean, when I say we, I mean Sam and me in like my car driving home from Kofi. But yes, also a little bit of Dune trippiness in there as well. But yes, very heavily skewed to Lawrence of Arabia, which I kind of dug, especially when we just watched it. But yeah, I thought that was effective. But you know, here's the thing. Okay, Boba Fett in the movies has like 3 lines.
It's like 5, but yeah.
I was way off. Over 2 movies has, you know, right.
No,
Count them on your hand.
Not to beat a dead horse here, but yes, like Boba Fett, it's like less is more kind of thing. Has gained a huge fan base based on like barely being in movies.
And, you know, I don't have a problem with that being someone they adapt into a show, but you have to have like a good idea.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's necessarily there. And, I'll just say it. I don't think, oh God, what's his name?
Temuera Morrison.
Yeah, Temuera Morrison. Frankly, I just don't think he's like a good enough actor to like carry a show like this.
I personally, I feel like he could. I feel like the writing for him, they try to write as little as possible for this character, because in the movies it's like one line at a time, and it's kind of carryover for that, where it's just like you say the one line and then let everybody else talk based on that one line.
And then you pause for everybody go, woo!
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Right.
And that's how I feel like the writing for this has, at least in the quote unquote now time ones, him being the crime boss. I have personally liked watching how is he going from the Sarlacc pit to Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like that storyline, I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying that one, and that of the past 2 episodes has been my favorite part. And I mean, you got that trippy thing with the weird lizard going up his nose.
Yeah. See, can I just hit on that?
Yeah.
Star Wars is not ever usually weird like that. And I love weird like that in my sci-fi fantasy. And like Star Wars, I just feel is like critically underserved. And you know, it's supposed to be more of a broader, dare even say like family kind of movie. So like I'm not shocked, but like that was cool to see. I'm glad they like took a. I mean, look, it's just like a you know, I don't know. Yeah. Vision Quest. Like, it's not exactly like groundbreaking, but
it was cool because
it's a little on the limb.
It brought back like Camino, and like they like digitally and like put in the actor who played young Boba Fett into those scenes and whatnot, and like it was just like some cool like callbacks to episode 2, like the only few good parts of episode 2. I mean, it was interesting. But I'm afraid that this whole show is just going to be like flashback and main plot back and forth.
Right.
And like it's going to get tiring at one point, and eventually we have to catch up to Mando. And I want the main plot to actually be interesting and stuff going on. And like, because that's the plot that you're going to end up having to support this show. And it's not the flashbacks. But I mean, I'm happy that the fact that in this episode you get to find out that Tatooine wasn't always a desert planet.
Yeah,
the Dune Sea was an ocean.
Yeah, they
at
say
one point.
that in other stuff, don't they?
Do they?
That might have
I
been
don't
the
know
game.
if they've ever said it in like a movie.
I think it might have been the games.
Because I heard that. I'm like, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
I
but
just
like
don't
the
know where I
Dune
heard
Sea
it.
was an ocean at one point. When the oceans dried up, the Tusken Raiders remained, tending to that area, and they're the rightful owners of that area. And it's the settlers who came in later, they're the ones that have kind of like been the assholes.
I think, by the way, that literally might have been Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, it might have
could
been
have
that,
been, yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought the first 12 minutes was like, oh, we just do this last week? Like, didn't we like go into town, talk to this one asshole? Okay, go to this bar.
Yeah.
Go talk to
Hey,
Jennifer
look, it's
Beals
Max
and-
Rebo again.
Right. Getting some very confusing feelings about Jennifer Beals and like Twi'lek ears or whatever we call those.
Leku.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I will give them this. We got Spanish guitar Katina band song.
Yeah, they did play a different song, sort of.
I don't know. It's just like, wait, this is just the Katina band song on a Spanish guitar.
Shut
Then
up, Sam.
the Hutts sort of show up, and like I'm supposed to care, and they've got a Wookiee. I think Favreau and Filoni are more or less like writing all these scripts.
Yeah, Favreau is the one writing. So far, he's written the first two.
So I guess, is this more or less season 3 Mando?
Feels like it. Kind of feels
Yeah.
like it.
I don't know, and I think I gotta get her name, Fennec.
Yeah.
She's
Ming-Na
fine,
Wen.
but like, yeah, but and I not even like as like her an actress in the performance. I just don't think like as a character there's any, there just doesn't seem to be like anything like compelling or like interesting about these like characters really, And then even Sean, what did you think, by the way, of like who Boba Fett to be? Him going back to like save those people in the bar or whatever, like from the what the hell were the moisture thieves or whatever you want?
Yeah, whatever gang that was. Well, first of all, it's weird. The couple that are in the bar are a callback to a New Hope deleted scene where they're two of Luke's friends.
Okay.
Like it's weird that it's like that deep of a cut that it's from a deleted scene that these two people, but those are supposed to be the two Luke's two friends for like where was it Biggs shows up, like there's a deleted scene with like Luke, Biggs, and these two people, and that's supposed to be the callback saying like, oh no, that's actually canon. But like I liked that he went in there and just fucked shit up and then left without really saying a word. But at the same time, what kind of bothers me about this is it's like, this is Boba Fett. He's like one of the most notorious bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Ruthless.
Why does he not throw his name around?
We're never shown that in the movies, though.
I understand we're not shown that in the movie, but we're shown that like the Empire, who is like all the riches in the world and can do anything, hire literally 6 bounty hunters. So you have an idea that those 6 are pretty like good at their job, and one of them succeeds.
That's really looking into it, but sure.
But that's like when you're hiring bounty hunters, you have a ton, especially like in the Star Wars universe. There's a ton of bounty hunters. The fact that the Empire hires 6 of them, like you're assuming these are the best of the best of the best.
Also, though, why in episode 2 does Jango Fett outsourced the job to Sam Wessel. Like Jango Fett, like I thought he's supposed to be like good.
Yeah,
at what he does.
Yeah.
Bizarre inside job, dude.
Thank you, George Lucas.
We need to get the diner scene. That's why.
Yeah, we need more Zach.
If he just kills Padme, then it's over.
Yeah, right. Well, he's not. He's a bounty hunter. He's not an assassin.
Oh, you're right. Because Sean, let's not forget, they're no good to him dead.
Right.
Which I don't know. I thought it was weird and out of character for him to like go back and be like, I mean, that's what you want the main guy to do, is to like help, the lesser. But like honestly, Boba Fett doesn't care. Like he's not at all like preoccupied with other people.
He cares right now about the Sand People, Tusken Raiders. Sorry, that they will never call them Sand People ever again. I don't believe. But the Tusken Raiders, he cares about them because they saved him.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's one of those clan kind of things. Like, you saved me, you've got my back. All right, I got your back, kind of thing. It's it's him, I guess, evolving. What I don't understand is how he goes from basically helping unify, I guess, all the tribes of the Great Dune Sea, to taking over Jabba's job. Like, I don't see the leap. It's kind of two different characters. And I mean, I'm just, like I said, it's my favorite character in Star Wars, so I'm in it for the ride. But like, there's plenty of concerns I have for this show.
All right. Well, let's not dwell on it. I don't know how much we're going to come into as a week-by-week thing.
No, it's definitely not a week-by-week.
Yeah, I just thought between, Sam not really being able to chime in, and I did think I had a little bit more of a nuanced take the second time around, of being like, oh, okay, sure, on the first episode, which I think we were all sort of the same.
Really quick, John, were you happy that when before you see the train, like they're all sitting around the camp and they're like, what's that noise? And they look up. Were you like, oh, it's just a crate dragon or like some kind of monster coming towards them? Like, did you get that feeling?
No. But I did like just how the whole train thing.
I like the train, but I felt like, because we complained last week about the whole like monster of a week kind of thing, like how every episode ends with them fighting a monster. I felt like this episode was literally going down that path before they showed the train.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's either a monster or like some kind of shootout or robbery. So next week we'll have a
monster,
a Rancor fight or something. Actually, probably will, given what they said. Are Rancors native to Tatooine?
They are not. They are. Okay. Oh well, depend. If you go with the books, they are not. But I don't believe they are from expanded universe. Dathomir, I know, has Rancors. But this is all based on the zoological book released for Star Wars that I have owned and read numerous times.
Yeah, I wonder if those are like.
I don't know.
Because I know all the EU stuff. They're like, don't worry about it. But anyway, all right. Well, let's what do we want to do?
Why don't you give your Coda? Yeah, go Coda.
Yeah, so we talked about this briefly last week. Chris kind of gave his review. I saw it. It's a.
Sorry, my chair is creaking.
It's a very nice movie. It's like a decent. Like I get why it's getting like some kind of like awards buzz. It's doesn't really like aim its sights too high, but like it's a nice watch.
It's
I
a feel
thought
good
it was
movie.
Interesting.
It's a feel good movie.
Yeah, and like I can understand, like living with deaf parents, like that must be. I mean, well, clearly, that's what she goes through. Is like it's incredibly trying, and sometimes like you're the one that has to like watch over them, and for that to be your parents, especially when you're a teenager, is, a total like role reversal.
Exactly.
I did see some people talking about how it's like. Oh, so they just like magically like just start a like successful like food co-op like out of nowhere as like two deaf adults. And it's like, yeah, that was a little weird, truthfully, but
There's a
No.
there's a couple parts that they kind of glossed over a little bit. I think it's just for story purposes.
Yeah, and like that's fine. That's fine. Like I think the thing with this is like I'm starting to kind of realize is, you know, the sort of the like mid-market kind of like, you know, I don't know, just like feel goods, like classic, like I don't know, I feel like stuff that like was in theaters like when we were kids, like just kind of like, you know, not that bad, not that great, just kind of like a little endearing sort of thing, you know, like just I don't know. It kind of seemed like I guess what I'm saying is like I'm happy like those movies end up on streaming because I feel like we would otherwise like not get any of them. But yeah, it was good. I think you know. I don't know if like the just because I think there's like a lot of like best actress competition out there, but like the girl, you know, if she would get nominated or something like that,
Emilia Jones.
Yeah,
Emilia
but she's
Jones.
really good. I liked her in it, and like I thought it was good performances by the parents too. Your West Wing fan, Marley
Matlin, yeah.
Matlin,
Yep.
yeah. I think she's Academy Award nominated too.
For she might be.
It's for some.
Might be.
Excuse me, for something I can't remember, but yeah, no, a decent movie. I guess I'd give it like an 8.2, something like that.
8.2. See, I love this. I love this movie. I genuinely thought it was. I mean, it brought up a few situations that not many people would think about, and it was like an appealing story. It was kind of odd in a sense of the scenario of the family, and like the actress could actually sing,
Yes,
which is
really well.
which is something that usually you don't get. I'll refer to my Tick Tick Boom movie a little bit, but like Andrew Garfield is not the best singer. Yeah, he could do it, but he's not the best singer.
Yeah,
But and she like the actress could sign. She could sign, and she learned how to do it. And obviously everybody else can sing. But just the things that they do, and you've seen it in Sound of Music or Sound of Metal, and I've seen it personally because we have a family friend who is deaf and the parents are not. But it's like the dinner table scene in Sound of Metal, just them banging on the table and everything. Like that's real, and it's a little awkward when you can hear things and say things. It's just you're trying to understand that stuff, and like it was
like the scene where she does the where they're at like the recital or whatever, and it actually does the sort of like Sound of Metal thing where like it takes the sound out and it's like all of a sudden you're seeing it from sort of the parents' perspective, and they're like, like they all start singing, like curtain goes up, they all start singing, and like and they're like, oh, what's for dinner tomorrow?
yeah
Like they're sort of not disinterested, but it's like, well, we can't really enjoy this. And then like they're looking and it's like, oh wow, like they're seeing other people's reaction. It's like, oh wow, she's actually good, and like
but that works with the movie. Like that's the that's
definitely.
kind of the point of the movie, and it wasn't too long. I personally think it wasn't too long. It kind of hit all the right notes. After watching a few other movies that we may or may not talk about, it's like an uplifting movie.
Oh, certainly. And
I
it's
think I've
definitely
watched Spider-Man before this, and I'm like, I hope this is happy, because Spider-Man just made me really sad at the end.
yeah, and I mean I wouldn't call it a comedy by any stretch, but it's really funny at times too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The what the heck was it? The parents trying to explain the like, don't be a fool, wrap your tool type stuff to her, or
just them like having sex and like not realizing she's home because like she's in her room with her
friend.
It's not.
Yeah. It's just that like that stuff is just. It was pretty funny. You're right. It was pretty funny. But like, it was filmed on location in Mass, like North Shore. It's kind of fitting. It was just kind of a nice movie. It was a nice movie to watch. Really enjoyed it. Short, sweet, got to the point. Pretty well done with the acting.
Like, also like answer the question sort of I had like in the middle of like, wait, but how can they be fishermen though and like be deaf? Like that's just, how is that possible? It's like, yeah, well they got
they got in trouble.
They almost lost their license for it, or they did. I guess spoiler or whatever. But Yeah, no, it's good. I would recommend it to anybody.
Exactly, and I think this is going to get something. I hope this gets something because it needs some recognition because of how well it was put together.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's definitely not gonna win, but like it'd be nice to see it. Like as a best picture, or like I think for I don't know the actress name, but the lead, she was pretty.
Emilia Jones.
Yeah.
I think adapted screenplay is. I would need to look at the other list of the movies, but this would be adapted screenplay.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's based off of a French movie with similar. It's a similar story.
Gotcha.
So, I think you rate 2. I give this a 9. So, yeah, okay. I got your thoughts. I'm happy. Glad somebody else saw it.
Well, Sam and I don't have Apple, so that would be why.
Oh, update on Apple. I finished For All Mankind. Oh, it's really good. Sam, you'd really like it, I think. But it's on
Apple. It's
Forbidden Apple,
Planet.
so yes.
Too bad sharing things doesn't come easy anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, Chris, really quick. You want to talk Encanto?
Yeah. Let's just. This is
Just
how you
jump
do a Spanish music Disney movie correctly. Not Coco.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is how you do it.
All
In
right.
every possible way, this movie was better than Coco. And everybody hyped up Coco a lot.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes,
this
they
is
did.
great music. He loves the music. He sang 2 freaking songs in the whole movie. That's it. Or 3, I'm sorry, I forgot the last one. That made everybody cry. No.
Yeah.
This is how
Remember
you
Me?
do it.
Yeah.
This was a fun movie. It it wasn't great, but it was just kind of fun to watch. The music was exciting, kind of uplifted you a little bit. The story was a little disjointed, kind of. And not really, you didn't really feel suspense at all. But
It's
music
weird that
wise, it
the
was pretty
main
good.
actress was Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, well, it's not weird because Mirabelle was not the best singer of the bunch by any stretch of the imagination. It was.
I agree.
It was not even. It's not like the Abuela. Definitely not John Leguizamo as Bruno, but it was the other one. It was the other. I forget. It was essentially the sisters and the cousins and stuff like Jessica Darrow, Angie Cepeda, Carolina Gayton, and Diane Guerrero. I just wanted to say their names. I don't know.
Okay. No.
What
that's
anybody
fine.
else is in, but those were the voices you wanted to hear, and those were the good ones. And a lot of the songs, the song I really liked was the one between her and I think it was her cousin with the flowers and all this other stuff. That was kind
That's
of
her sister. That's her sister.
Okay, that was a really fun one to watch, and it made the movie exciting to actually hear a song that was fun to listen to. You kind of got into it, and then that's just. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole movie was music essentially.
Yeah, it was a very music centric. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the music for this, which I mean, if you don't know who he is by now, in the music business, I mean, watch a musical.
All Broadway, all Broadways.
Hamilton. He did.
He wasn't Book of Mormon. He was.
No, he was not. But he did In the Heights.
Yes.
This year.
Tick, tick,
which
boom.
is an underrated gem. Apparently, it's a really good movie, but I didn't watch it. Maybe I'll watch it eventually if it gets nominated for stuff. As for my take on Encanto, Chris, everything you've said, I cannot agree less. I hated this movie.
Did you really?
Yeah, no, I did not like this movie. The fact that this is the forerunner or the favorite for the animated movies of the year, which if you listen to this podcast enough, that's the category that I watch all the movies, almost all the movies for. I like animated as an art form. The Disney ones are all musicals, but I don't care. Animated movies to me, they're cool. I like animated because you can do a lot more than with live action. With that being said, this is the weakest year for for animated films ever because it's between this and Mitchell's versus the Machines, and that one was fine.
Well, that was interesting.
It was fine. I thought it was fine. Like I have nothing negative to say about it. I actually recently rewatched it this past week. It's a fine movie. This movie, I didn't care about any of the characters. I do agree with you, Chris. Like some of the music numbers are like fun and everything, but not memorable at all.
Oh no,
like
no,
at all.
Granted, half of it's in Spanish, but
even with it being in Spanish, like I think We Don't Talk About Bruno is the only one that I like truly remember, but it's more or less because the little girl who lives with us, like she's listened to it multiple times, but like I don't know like really any of the words to to that song, or like even when the intro song when they're talking about who the family is and everything, like I have no idea what's going on. Like it's so confusing, and it like I at the end of that song where she literally goes through her entire family and who's who and what's what. I still had no idea what was going on.
By the end of the movie, I still had no idea who.
It's so it's a beautiful movie. Don't get me wrong. As an art, like visual, it was beautiful. Especially the cousin, or it's her sister, who can create flowers and plant life with her power. Like that created so much beauty in this movie. But as a whole, I did not like this movie as much as I probably should have, and this is going to go down as a forgotten Disney movie. I don't think anybody years from now are going to think about this one. Like I would.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I would put
by any means with that.
Raya and the Last Dragon, I would probably say is a better movie than this one.
Yeah,
as a whole, and I wasn't a huge fan of that one.
It's Raya and the Last Dragon is a rewatchable Disney movie, whereas this is not.
No.
And I mean, there's only one way to tell, and that's like my 3-year-old who's
right.
You go based off of that. What do you want to watch tonight? Luca, Encanto, or Raya?
Yeah.
And it's
like,
always Raya. Yeah,
but even Luca like has somewhat of a rewatchability to it.
It doesn't.
But like even Luca, I'm not saying Luca was a good movie, but like I was fine. But like this one, I just did not like this one, and I do completely disagree with you, Chris, on Coco, because at least the songs in Coco, they're memorable, and years later now, years down the line, I mean, they're considered some really good Disney songs.
I think Coco is one of the most overhyped Disney movies of all time.
I disagree, but if you want to talk overhyped Disney movies of all time,
we could really delve into.
We can really like. I've had half hour to hour arguments over Disney movies, and I shouldn't know as much as I do for Disney movies, but so be it. I know more than I wish to acknowledge. But yeah, no, not a fan of this movie. This was a skip it. I was very disappointed in this movie, especially with the names involved, and I really wanted this movie to be good. I had good high hopes for this movie.
I'm starting to notice a ceiling on the Lin-Manuel. You know who I'm talking about? His movies. Yes. I'm starting to notice there's a ceiling on those.
I agree. The fact that people were like, "Oh, this is one of his movies, so the music's gonna be good." I was like, "All right, sweet." Like, even if the story's stupid, at least the music's gonna be amazing. No, the music sucked. End of story. I hated the music. I hated it.
In this one?
In this one,
yeah,
yes. This is probably one of the worst.
A lot of the Coco stuff too. So.
Yeah, but at least people remember the Coco songs. Whether or not you agree,
I can't anyway.
not agree. Whether or not you like the music or not, but Remember Me and Coco Loco, those songs get a lot of play for kids, and it's but this one, I don't see any of it because a lot of the music in this one had something to do with the plot, which is very, like normal for a musical.
It's a musical.
Right. But for a replay value, if I was to go back and just listen to that song, I mean, not to like go back, but like Frozen with Let It Go, like you listen to that song by itself and it's like, oh, this is a cool song. This is a good song. And like, yeah, it has something to do with the plot of the movie, but it doesn't like lean heavily on the plot of the movie. Whereas like in this one, all the songs were like about the siblings and like about what was going on in the story and it's just like, that doesn't make a good song. It like, yeah, it's a good musical, like adds to a musical, like if it was a Broadway play, but for a movie, no, it sucks.
No, I see what you're saying, and I'm going to disagree, but we'll just
That's
we'll leave it at that.
So your rating for this?
7-9.
And I gave it a 6-7.
Okay, we're not super far off, but
enough. Yeah, enough. Where like for the fact that this is supposed to be like the front runner for that category.
See,
of the Oscars,
I've never seen this as the front runner. But then again, I'm not paying attention to this category. This category this year is not that good.
No, it isn't. It really is not. I can't wait to.
I don't want to watch anything else animated this year. Well, there's nothing else this year that really came out. So.
No, it's like literally for animated so far, unless there's a foreign animated movie. It's like this, Luca, Mitchell and the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
That's about it.
All right. Let's move on. Final movie.
Yeah, let's get into this final movie, guys. Don't Look Up. John, do you want you saw it before we did, so why don't you take it over?
All right. Don't Look Up, which is the Adam McKay, who previously directed Vice and The Big Short, and before that, a lot of Will Ferrell movies like Step Brothers and Anchorman. Has now done his third sort of big boy serious-ish movie. This one about a global crisis involving a imminent strike of a comet that would wipe out humanity and the face of the earth. With a absolutely huge cast, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, among many others. Third movie for Timothée Chalamet this year. Just want to throw that one out there.
So Doom, this one, and
French Dispatch.
Right. That's right. He's in that one.
Anyway, so yeah, and this movie is more or less a satire, which is used as a allegory against climate change. At least it's supposed to be, even though actually I think it sort of works better for other more recent global crises.
Correct.
Which I've currently afflicted by one. And yeah, I just think overall, well, okay. So here's my thing, or sort of the trajectory of where this movie is sort of headed. I was excited to see this, at least on the cover. I mean, I like Big Short. I thought Vice didn't quite work, but had parts that I liked. And obviously, I'm a big fan of the previous stuff he's done. Step Brothers is probably like one of my favorite comedies of the last 20 years. And then obviously an absolutely stacked cast, okay, let's see what happens. So here's the thing with Adam McKay. I don't know. First off, like, he doesn't do, I think he needs to like stick to like adapted stuff more, because his sort of like social critiques are sort of way too like all over the place and like scattered. They're tough to sort of like suss out in the way. And look, satire is very hard to pull off. Like, some of the best ones for me, like Network or like Doctor Strangelove, it's really like threading a needle. So I don't want to make it seem like it's easy, because there is that sort of balance of like making it so ridiculous that, it sort of loses all perspective and there's no sort of lessons you can gain or glean from it. here, I just don't think this one really works. And so there's two things. One is like who it's supposed to like sway. It's not really like targeted over people who think climate change is not like a thing right now. And this is going to be somewhat, political because it's a satire about, a political issue. So I don't think
multiple
we're gonna
political
really,
issues.
Yeah, like I don't think we're really walking the line here, but like I'll throw that out there. So, he has this kind of style of like more is more. Like there's like there's a real like maximalist of like try to like spin every plate and every kind of idea. We're gonna pull all the threads, and there's this. So it's the I think what throws me off here is that the movie is sort of supposed to sway the sort of, people who are sort of like in power to like actually like change, but it's not like selling people that like climate change is real or not. Like that's not really the thing. It's like our reaction to it. Nor do I think like that's where the debate should be or whatever. But like, I don't know. It's just the problem is like one, movie's not really that funny. Like a lot of times, it's making a lot of like jokes that like I saw Jon Stewart make like 15 years ago. It's a lot of like old man yelling at clouds. Like, look at how dumb we all are. Like, I mean, frankly, you're rooting for the comet in the end, which I think is kind of like against the point of all of it. You kind of have that nice moment at the end with like the family that's sort of like accepting of all of this and like sort of like at peace. Which, maybe would have had like a greater poignancy if like it was a different movie, frankly. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't quite work, and it seemed like just sometimes like it's like undermining it. Like there's sometimes you have this like trust the science or like like Leo who becomes like the sort of scientist who's like out there. It's kind of like some like Dr. Fauci kind of stuff of like. Oh, does he just like being on TV all the time sort of thing? Or like, is he actually like trying to solve the problem? That's just what some people like, think when they see certain things. And I don't know. The movie's like all over the place and it's just kind of like tough to like grab onto any message or really have like any big takeaway other than just, oh, look at all these dumb people. Don't they suck? When, that's about it, which is not, I don't know. Not exactly like a positive message.
Every 20 minutes, there's like a statement of something that's going on that he tries to relate it to. And you're right, he does this more is more thing. Given what you just said, you're absolutely right. I think his I don't want to say his problem, but he's definitely better at doing things that have already happened.
Right.
Because The Big Short, like all that stuff was it happened, and he could
adapting,
make a satire of it. And same thing with Vice.
It's very well. Even so, I think you liked Vice a little bit more than I did, but I think The Big Short, it's like such a specific thing, and you have the Michael Lewis book that it's based off of. Like there's stuff you can really like zone in on and like get to the bottom of what it is. Like I think Vice, and I don't want to like go super long on Vice, but like. Vice, like, I never really, like, got what it's trying to say or whatever, and, like, I think here it's I know what it's trying to say, but it's just so, like, clumsy in doing it that, the purpose is, like, I almost wish, like, he didn't make the movie. Like, it almost makes everything that he's trying to, like, push, like, look worse,
Yeah, like, I couldn't agree with you more. It's like the Achilles heel of Adam McKay movies is they're incredibly ham-fisted.
Yeah.
And in Big Short, it's perfectly fine that it's ham-fisted in that because you're dealing with such like minutia and stuff that just is a little difficult to understand. Or it's like you kind of just have to force that in people's faces, like this is what's happening, just so you understand. And in Vice. The ham-fistedness just kind of stops working as much, but I felt like it was a bit saved because Dick Cheney's just an interesting dude.
Yeah, and like
It's like I kind of enjoyed watching a movie about him. Whereas this, it's not an interesting story. It's a predictable one. And it's also just kind of a depressing one. And it's like, it's not funny, and I'm not enjoying myself. And I just don't want to be here anymore.
It was long.
super
It was
depressing.
long.
It was what, 2.5 hours about?
Yeah, it was long. It was noticeably long too.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I lucked out. I was able to watch the first 2 hours, take a break, and then watch the last half hour.
It's definitely a breakable movie.
Oh, easily. Because the way I felt this movie played out. First of all, I just want to say, like, based on the cast, with like DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, like, I could care less about these actors in the. I respect what a lot of them have done for their work and how good of actors and actresses they are. But like as a whole, I don't give a shit about any of them. Like if it's a movie starring any of them, probably gonna skip. So the fact that like they're on this movie, it kind of for me, I struggle to really get into it. Which is, I mean, there's so much talent in this movie, which is depressing to begin with. But like at the end, like this movie played out like a bunch of vignettes, like little like bits that are going on. It's like, hey, what happens if this happens? And then like this happens. And it's like, now what if this happens next? And then that happens. It's like, and now what if it's like, that's how this whole movie progresses. Like, like as a story. And it's just like, it gets boring and dumb and stupid. And like you guys said, it's not funny. Like at all.
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's some like very small moments,
right.
But in a 2 hour, 20-minute movie, like my God.
There was
the jokes are like obvious jokes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So it's like, you of course you make that.
The only time I think I out loud laughed is the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
That's the only time I really laughed.
When she gets eaten?
She gets eaten, and they're like, what was that thing? And he says, oh, it must be this thing, whatever. Like, he mentions the creature because it's a callback to earlier when he's like, you get eaten by this thing. And like, what is that? I have no idea. And then it happens. And I was like, oh, hey, that was actually kind of funny. Other than that, like, the movie's not funny. Jonah Hill, I've never found Jonah Hill as a comedic actor to be funny at all.
Okay.
I'm just not a fan of him. And I would say like this role is a very watered down Jonah Hill character, but at the same time, still not funny. It just kind of comes off more annoying than funny. And I definitely feel like he's supposed to be the comedic aspect to the scenes he's in, because he's kind of like that out of touch, rich youth kind of character, and it just comes off as annoying, and it just bothers me. Ron Perlman I was fine with though.
This wasn't supposed to be. No,
it wasn't. Ron Perlman.
Yeah,
though,
but
I liked
like,
Ron Perlman.
You know what though? I just want to push back a little bit because like Big Short is like a very enjoyable movie to watch. Like it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not like funny though. There's a couple scenes.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, but it's enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, yeah.
You know.
I mean,
I think a lot of it's. I mean, like not even like. I don't want to put like jokey funny, but like like when they're talking to the guy and it's like when they're going to like interview like people like in Florida or whatever who like have the mortgages and then like the real estate agent. Oh, like, I don't know, like that.
Yeah, that stuff's funny.
Yeah, and like you can even point to that one and be like, yeah, that's not exactly a super happy movie, but like it's enjoyable. It's like you just it keeps your attention, and it's not super predictable like this, where it's like, I watched like the first 10 minutes and I knew exactly.
Oh yeah, easily.
And the pace is just like I think just the whole time, like, when is this fucking going to end?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, you have a timeline. You know exactly when the comic's going to strike, but like you know what's going to happen. Every
No, I
step
mean,
of
when
the
is the
way.
movie going to end?
No, I know. The movie ends when the comet strikes.
Movie end, comet hits the Earth.
It's the same thing. But like, I did, and like, as a whole, I think the movie is fine. I think the problem is it aimed for the stars and missed. Based on like you look at the cast. We've already talked about the cast, but the cast is a great cast. Lots of talent, and they didn't really live up to any of their potential.
No, not at all.
And it was Timothy Chalamet is just kind of randomly in there. Not quite sure why he's there.
You know who did I liked the news anchors. It was Kate Blanchett and
Sam's favorite
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed watching them.
They were okay, but they were annoying. Like everyone else in this movie.
every other news anchor.
Or the whole subplot with Ariana Grande. Which was dumb. And the concert that she did, why did we have to listen to that whole song?
Why did we see that?
There was no reason for that whole scene. But no, let's have Ariana Grande and I don't even remember DJ whatever, the character that was her ex-boyfriend who became fiance. That whole subplot was just dumb. I understand that it's supposed to be oh, this is trending, but end of the world stuff isn't. I understand that, but they were just beating that stupid subplot. I don't understand why.
Yeah. I mean, part of it too is I don't think it's a good metaphor for actually climate change though.
No, not at all.
You know, this is fast and sudden. Climate change, sort of by definition, is slow and gradual. It's not, impending doom. And then they were talking about it how, media doesn't want to talk about it. And it's bro, where have you been for the last year and a half? They only want to scare the shit out of you, whether it's justified or not.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure if there was a 0.1% chance of the comet hitting, it would be nothing but that for a year. You know,
just based on any kind of news source nowadays, it doesn't matter what. It goes all the way to ESPN, sports news. They don't care. They're not gonna. It's the obsession over the opinionated news rather than the factual news. You have too many 24-hour news sources. It's too much.
It's about sensationalization.
Exactly.
It's about showing the picture of LeBron's Instagram post about the comet, and then Stephen A. talking about that for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and how that Twitter post, how does that affect his legacy on the court? Yeah. Let's talk about that for the next 4 hours.
I mean, honestly, if LeBron can't get another ring, that's probably, that's unfair to him. He could have won, who knows how many more he could have won compared to Jordan. So, it's tough to say. We could have gotten another Space Jam, too.
Yeah.
Is that animated?
I don't know.
Could we throw that
maybe that
category?
It's going to win the Razzie for something.
Maybe, and then we wouldn't get a movie about, the Casablanca world that's randomly in that movie.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because the kids love themselves some Casablanca.
There was some other depressing news while we're on depressing movies about HBO Max of what people actually watch for the movies that came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that
first one.
Yeah.
So top two was Mortal Kombat and Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then I think Space Jam did better than Dune, and I just shut my laptop.
It was number 3 was
maybe Suicide Squad.
No, Matrix 4.
Was it okay?
Yeah, Matrix 4.
The Conjuring was up there too.
Oh, was it? I know, but Dune did better than that. But not Matrix. Mortal Kombat did twice as many viewers as Dune.
Yeah.
I know that's like it was like 3.8 compared to 1.9.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is like crazy.
And to think none of those are me. I've not seen that movie.
Wow.
So, all right. So, getting back to Don't Look Up. One last. I mean, if you guys have anything else, please add. But the problem here too is like it's 2 hours 20 minutes, and I know I'm like a broken record on this, but like the Netflix guy, like they just if you had somebody to like take 30 minutes off of this to be like, hey, this movie's too long, you know, I don't know in this case if it's going to be a lot better.
Wouldn't. This was doomed from the start.
But it couldn't have hurt, right? It's still going to make it better though.
I don't think
if
so.
you took a half hour off.
No, it would have made it. It would have made it better.
I don't know if it would have made it better. I
It
really
would have
don't.
saved it. I'm not saying it would have saved it.
No,
was
it
was bad direction, bad like it was just bad. Like
it's just a bad story to start with.
It was lazy. It was a lazy plot. It was a lazy everything.
Awful. Like it's not. It's not awful stuff though. It's just.
But like
none of it really sunk.
If there was one person that I pull out of this movie and say like, why were you in this? Why did you suck so bad? It's Mark Rylance as that like billionaire kind of character who has won an Oscar for Bridge of Spies as best supportive actor. Because I remember when he won it and I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
Listen, he settled into this role of I'm just gonna play the rich guy on the spectrum.
Right, but like, so he goes on the
second
first time
movie, right?
Yeah,
because it's Ready Player One.
Yeah, but like he goes on stage and he has this
Same
personality
character
that he shows to everybody, and it's like this really weird, awkward kind of rich guy, and like I was like, this is dumb. And then there's kind of the scene where it's backstage and he shows his kind of true colors and I'm like, oh, maybe that's just an act. And then it doesn't go anywhere. No, it wasn't an act. It's just like kind of lazy writing and lazy acting. Where like he's not this just like kind of bumbly, kind of like lovable grandpa-esque character. It's just he's a character.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's done the like Zuckerberg 2.0 like post like social network kind of Zuckerberg. I don't think anybody's done that good yet, like that kind of satire.
No,
I mean it's been people have been trying to do it, but no one's really gotten that note. Even like on like SNL or stuff like that. The Mark Rylance thing, I was like, what? Like I don't know. A lot of this movie is like 2 or 3 things like too many. You know?
Yeah.
Even something like that joke they keep coming back to about the general like charging them for like the snacks at the White House. Yeah, like, it's kind of funny, but like it's also like just ends up being like out of place, and it's like all right, guys, let's land this comment and like get out of here.
Yeah, it just
it's like
I said,
it's like the comment. Fine. Nothing before it really meant anything. Just like this movie, nothing before it really meant anything.
Yeah, it's just a waste.
It really is a waste. Yeah. And like so another thing I have to chuckle about that I feel like is one of those subtle jokes that they don't really talk about much, but like so the pods make it to one of a planet. Was it a Rapunzel planet, right? No, not a
Goldilocks.
Sorry. A Goldilocks planet. And at the end, and it's like, this is the future of humanity. A bunch of old white people.
Yeah, with one black guy.
Yeah, but like, more or less, a bunch of old people. Like, how are they going to repopulate the Earth? None of them can have kids.
I mean, so the answer is no, because Earth isn't
but
there anymore. But
that's one of those one of the subtle jokes from this movie that like I'm glad is in there, but I also feel like maybe it was unintentional. Where it's like a bunch of old people blast off into space to try to repopulate the world, but it's like no one thought like, hey, we can't. Like you need people who actually can give birth to repopulate a planet, but everybody here, like the average age is like 65.
Did Meryl Streep have like a okay.
A double, yeah.
Okay,
it was a body double. It was a body.
That was a pretty gnarly like back tattoo right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to give it numbers.
Yeah.
We got to wrap this up.
Who wants to go first on this?
7-8.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
that's-
higher than I expected. Sam or John?
6.
Sam going, wow, solid 6 for Sam.
I'm gonna go. Trying to figure out what I gave it on here. Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.5.
So yeah, John, you really hated this movie.
Yes, sir.
Like I
want
said,
it to be made.
it was fine, so I gave it a 7 too. Like it was fine. Like it wasn't good, but it wasn't like
This
the worst
was,
movie I've seen.
For me,
this
this was a step below fine.
Okay, which is fine. I can understand. Like I said, I don't like any of these actors or actresses, like outside of like a few things. So I could really care less about a lot of them. And
Yeah.
like I watched it and it was kind of more like a morbid curiosity of how we're going to get to everybody dying.
See, I like his style though, so I kind of
I don't.
I kind of want him to
Adam
do
McKay,
new things that have happened.
The fact that I've never seen Vice or what's the other?
Watch Big Short.
Watch Big Short.
You've
Yeah,
never
no,
seen.
yeah, I've never
definitely.
actually seen those movies, but just like watching this movie and how like every once in a while it would like there would be like stills and everything.
This was your
And-
introduction to Adam McKay?
No, I've watched his
Well,
comedies.
Not
Yeah, but
comedies.
I've never watched his
non-comedies.
series.
Non-comedies.
Yeah, this is
What?
my introduction to him. I
Oh,
would
that's
say.
a mistake.
Watch Big Short,
Yeah,
Sean.
Big
I
Short
know,
is,
I
is
know.
Short's
the
really good.
complete 180 of this.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But like just the way that he filmed this, like with the stills and everything, like
That's his
For me,
style. That's his style.
It is.
I hated it.
His style is a bit over edited,
Oh, 100% over edited. And like
but like it works in other movies, but this one
right. And like it was bothersome to me at times because it's like the continuity in scenes were so off because he threw in those stills. And it just like hurt my brain at like the dinner at the end. It was a great scene with everybody kind of coming into acceptance of, you know, their fate. And throwing in these stills and like you have the character's reaction in one scene of doing one thing, but like the audio continues, but they're not doing the same thing in the next scene. And it's really weird. And it's just kind of, it breaks me away from what I'm watching. And it did bother me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's supposed to be kind of that way.
Yeah.
I don't think in this case it really serves a higher purpose as much as it does in the other two. But yeah, man, I watched this and I'm like, oh, was Big Short a flash in the pan?
Right.
Like, does actually like he not have it? And like, I was like looking forward to a bunch of his stuff, and now the next one is going to be very iffy.
Yeah.
Probably still watch it, but it's going to be very iffy for me.
would
Did he
you say
say what did he say what his next one is? Or
I don't know.
No. Would you say, John, though, like that's the last straw? If this one's not good, you're done with Adam McKay?
I think so. I mean, he's already. I mean, even in The Big Short, he's very preachy. In Vice, in this one, it's like even more so. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember at the end of The Other Guys, they have this like whole like, oh, did you know finance was bad though? Like credits thing, which, you know, it was at the time so out of place for that movie. Even though that one's supposed to be, I guess a subtle critique of the financial system or whatever. I don't know. That one I just remember, you know, Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock jumping off a building for no reason. That was, I shouldn't say for no reason, just having nowhere to land. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I do have a good Netflix movie for next week if you guys are looking for something.
What movie?
It's called The Lost Daughter with Olivia Colman.
Oh,
It's
that's
pretty-
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want to check that out. I'll check that out.
Yeah, check that out. It does not have the same problem of being like 20 minutes too long. I'll say
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah. Maybe next week, because that is also lots of Oscar buzz on that one.
Yes, I would not be shocked if there was a lead or
So yeah, definitely
we'll leave
think
it at that.
we will. Are we in agreement? We'll check that out for next week. We'll review it next week.
Yeah, probably a couple
Sure.
other things, but sure.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to get the take of the parents on that one.
Oh boy.
Is it a depressing movie?
Not overly.
Oh my goodness.
It's
We need to start doing some happy stuff here.
It's not a happy movie, but it's not super depressing either.
Great.
Anyway, well, it has Ed Harrison, and it's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, who has her husband in it, and fucking people. I don't know. Interesting choice. So, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, and now YouTube, thanks to Sean. Like us on Facebook, leave us a review, and until next time.
Later.